All right, test 1 2, test 1 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunchtime Live, brought to you by Freaktoyz Collectibles. My name is Thrash, but you can call me Audrey because we're friends. And today, oh boy, today, this is the initial launch of Lunchtime Live here at Freaktoyz Collectibles every Friday at noon-ish. You can tune in to see possibly my beautiful, wonderful face, or possibly somebody else, depending on if, somebody else might want to do one. Who knows? Now, what are you in for whenever it comes to Lunchtime Live? I think you might be asking yourself, and that is, well, it's kind of simple there. Go ahead and transition here. Let's put this hat back on. Feeling a little different. All right. So, Lunchtime Live, brought to you by Freaktoyz Collectibles, will be your weekly Friday noonish stop for news pertaining to Freaktoyz Collectibles, toys, wrestling, pop culture, and anything else under the sun. We can talk. We can chat. We got a half hour to an hour, depending on how long we want to go. We might have guests. It all depends. All in the illustrious Freaktoyz basement. That's right. All of this that you can't see behind me is a basement. Took a picture earlier with a bunch of snake mountains. It's just an interesting sight to see. A lot of things you don't get, a lot of things you don't get to see every day. Anyway, enough of my rambling. Even though that's what I do best. We're going to jump on top of some standard news based around the store. So the first thing that I want to bring up for the store is that we have a line of Bob's Burgers Funko Pops coming in. Now, some of you might groan, some of you might not. I might not be the biggest fan of Funko Pops in the world, but that doesn't mean that they aren't insanely collectible. And that doesn't mean that sometimes when they hit, they hit. That also means that they get licenses that a lot of other people just don't. And because of that, well, you see a lot of Funko Pops in the world, and that's how they make a Funko Pop collector out of many people. Sure, NECA might get like Shaun of the Dead for a license per se, but they might do a short figure run. That Funko Pop, it's going to sit on our shelf, and then you're going to walk in, and you're going to see it, and you're going to want it. Just how it goes. So we got those Bob Burgers Funko Pops coming in. They look pretty good. I'm really glad that we're getting Bob's Burgers merchandise being treated quite fairly in the market right now. So that's great. In big news, when we're dealing with trading cards, by the way, we had a Final Fantasy Magic card restock yesterday. We have booster boxes and booster packs. So if you're into that Final Fantasy life, you can come up here and we got you covered. But next week, next Friday to be exact, we are overseeing the launch of Pokemon Phantasmal Flames. Now, like usual, we don't know exactly what our distributor is going to allocate to us. You never know. I'm not going to call out their name, but sometimes it's quite a bit, and other times it's quite baffling at what they said. But that's the state of the market. With the market fluctuating and Pokemon cards being as sought after as what they are, it's just hard for us to get allocation. But throughout the week, if you do keep up with our socials, I will try to let you in on what exactly we'll be getting. It's going to be the same rules with us. It is a booster box or a, one of those 3-packs. If we have a 3-pack or whatever we have a binder collection, you get a binder collection. It's 1 item or 2 booster packs. And we also do directly set aside some of the cards for children because we just really believe in letting kids come in and buy their own cards and rip their own packs open and, experiencing joy like a lot of you did whenever you were younger. I'll leave it at that. All right. We currently have a food drive going on with the Sheboygan area food bank, Sheboygan County food. My apologies. It's a really noble drive. We're trying to help out everybody that's in need. And every Wednesday, if you bring in 3 non-perishable items, We can get you 10% off on your purchase here at the store. So it's a way that you can save some money and also help feed people that really need it. So we just ask that if you have anything to give, please, they need it right now. Everything, the world is in chaos, and regardless of how you feel about politics, which we don't want to bring up here, needy people need to eat. I don't feel that it's controversial for me to say that, and we want to help, and we're doing everything. Our layaway policy has been extended to Christmas. So normally we have 30 days. Now, just make sure you get it paid off by Christmas. Our layaway is simple. It's 10% of the value with tax added down on the item, or more if you want to, and you just pay it off however you can. Once that's paid off, you can come in and you can pick up that thing. So it's really good for Christmas gifts, trying to get that bigger thing for that person that you really want to get it for. So, you know, it's always something for you to pay attention to, take a look at. All right, we will be participating in the holiday parade that's coming up this Sunday. All right, this Sunday, next Sunday, I believe. I do not directly remember the hours. I do apologize. It's a Sunday. I'll be there. I'll be like this, regardless of whether the city of Sheboygan likes my lucha mask or not. So look out for me. If you're in the Sheboygan area, go ahead and wave at me. We can be homies. We can be friends, because we are friends. We're all friends. This Sunday, however, I, myself, along with maybe a few other people from the store, will be attending the ACW Return to Tanner's in Kimberly, Wisconsin. This year Sunday, we have Brian Myers on the card going Lucci. We have a steel cage match, Rain. We have Brock Hall, who I just got to say, out of the local guys, Brock Hall's my dude. I champion Brock Hall. Great heel work. Amazing. Would love to get him on here sometime, do that whole interview thing I did. Backwood Brown should be there as well. So that'll be nice, seeing an old friend. Haven't seen him in a while. And then the last little bit of store news that I would just like to touch on is our holiday hours are still going strong. So we're going to be closed on Thanksgiving. So if you come here on Thanksgiving, I don't know why you would. We just won't be open. We aren't open New Year's either. But other dates, I would say check our door. I also do have a post that I put on social media and will throw up later today just for you guys, just to keep you reminded. You want to get into some fun news? Maybe talk about wrestling for a minute? We can do that. News. All right, so trying a new thing here with me in the corner. That way I can point to the things that we're talking about. And like, you're going to see a lot of text on a page. That's what you're going to get out of a lot of this. But whenever we go into the toy news and stuff like that, we should have some photos. I'm just using the browser. I'm pulling these things up. I look these things up like you look these things up. This is the thing that it's very notable for me to keep on top of because of where I work and what I do for a living. So I figure it's really easy to be able to fill you in on some of that. So I do use a couple sites. If you do not like one of the wrestling sites that I use for my wrestling news, please tell me a better one. All it comes down to, I'm just using what I can find. I see news through the grapevine, I Google it, and then I pull up whatever page that is, looks like in this situation. Sometimes that page is unfortunately Ringside News, which I know some people don't like, but hey, you know, give me a better one and I'll be there. So let's go ahead. Moose admits that TNA roster was upset over 4-week break after Bound for Glory. Now this one is pretty interesting to me, specifically just because I didn't know that they had a 4-week break. I typically pay attention to wrestling, but honestly, TNA does slip through my grasp a little bit. So via his discussion with WrestleZone, Moose was asked about TNA taking a break after Bound for Glory and what he thought about it. Moose admitted that no one on the TNA roster liked that decision, especially Mike Santana, who had won the TNA title at Bound for Glory. To quote Moose here, Yeah, I mean, nobody on the roster liked that, especially our new world champion, Mike Santana. He just won the title and essentially brought it back home. First time world champion. Did it in front of the biggest crowd TNA has ever had, I think, in the history of the company. And we take 4 weeks off. So I feel most sad for him because, in my opinion, that's not the way that should happen. But at the same time, I trust Carlos. I trust the team. I understand what the reasoning and why they did it. I'm on board. But at the same time, I feel bad for guys like Santana and other guys on the roster who love the fire that we have going on. So I don't know the exact reason behind the break. Gonna be honest here. Again, TNA slips through my grasp. I knew Santana was the champion, and of course I watched the Hardys versus Dudley's match that was going on, because why wouldn't I? It was the final match for the Dudleys, and it was amazing. There's also a really incredible documentary that was put out on the Devon's YouTube channel that you should definitely check out. It's called, I think, Behind the Table, which is kind of a mock-up of the way that WWE Unreal was. Or it's called The Final Table. That's what it's called. Big recommend for The Final Table. Such a great and professional-looking documentary to be uploaded on YouTube. Right. Let's jump to WWE fired Ridge Holland early to send a message after he spoke out. Now, I don't know if you've been keeping up with this whole Ridge Holland thing, but essentially Ridge Holland got injured working for another company on behest of the WWE. Because of that, he was injured and he was at home, and then they decided to not renew his contract. This was while he was still under contract. Ridge Holland spoke out about this and how he felt it was unfair because he didn't know if he was going to be able to pay his mortgage. And, well, he was wrestling for a company that wasn't the WWE on, again, the behest of WWE. Now, they were covering his surgery, but, you know, he's out of job. He has to, you know, take all that time to heal. Well, he spoke out about it, and they cut his contract even earlier. It's very, very frightful. I can't believe that anybody would do that. And this is Brian Alvarez saying this, so he's going to use some flagrant language. I'm not even going to quote him. I'm just going to go ahead and give my take on the situation because I find this absolutely deplorable on the side of World Wrestling Entertainment. But unfortunately, WWE is not exactly the most scrupled organization anymore. We see things time and time again with ticket prices rising and things along those. I don't like to put my public, output out there. I'll just say that I don't like what they're doing to people. It's very unfair to the talent, and I hope that Ridge Holland finds work somewhere else. I'm also incredibly glad to see that people like Chelsea Green and a few others had donated to Ridge Holland to help him out in this situation. Great to see the wrestling community come together and help out somebody who, absolutely deserves the help, if we're being honest. Like, he's injured. No one should get fired while they're sick or hurt, even more so when that sick or hurt happened doing something for the... Right. ECW's Raven has been diagnosed with multiple personality disorder after getting sober. This one's crazy. He was talking in the Raven Effect documentary, which I have not got to see yet, but has been released in a beautiful physical media package by Vinegar Syndrome. Very upset that I didn't end up getting the version that I really wanted to get with the slipcover, but I'm still anxiously awaiting this to come in. I had to miss it when it was showing Chicago with Brian Hoffman, aka Blue Meanie. But I do hope to pick up that, or I do hope to watch the physical media once it comes. Anyway, this is directly from that, talking about his diagnosis. You're not supposed to know your diagnosis, but I happen to see it because I read upside down on his desk. So I grabbed it and looked at it and see what it said. And it said histrionic personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder, Raven admitted. But to me, it was freeing because I was like, now I get it. Now I understand why I behave this way. And this is a common thing in mental health. Once you do have your proper diagnosis, it does help alleviate a lot of the stress that you have because you understand why your brain does some of the things it does. So I definitely get where he's coming from with that. Narcissistic personality disorder is basically egomania, but histrionic personality disorder is a little more interesting and a little more twisted. Says diagnosis requires reading 5 or more of the following criteria: uncomfortable and not the center of attention, check; seductive or productive behavior, check; shifting and shallow emotions, check; using his appearance to draw attention, check; impressionic and big speech, check; dramatic or exaggerated emotions. Consider his relationships more intimate than they are. I was always guilty of that. That's about enough for that. My ADD kicked in, and now I'm bored reading them. Oh, did we die? Oh, whoa. Cam cut. One moment. Huh. Gonna be growing pains. That's one of them. No idea what the camera cut. Anyway, relatable. As somebody who also has attention issues, sometimes reading BS. But yes, I love that he's open and honest about this. I can't wait to watch this documentary. It looks absolutely amazing, and I do hope that I get to see him at Blizzard Brawl this year by GLC Dub. Hopefully, he gets to talk to the man. I have a ECW belt that I would love to have him sign. He's one of my favorites. I love all of the ECW originals. And I think it goes without saying that on my bucket list is to interview anybody that's still alive that was in ECW, because they were part of my childhood. All right, let's jump to something a little more different. All right, so we do have a bit more news in this situation. That's just going to be our standard. There are a couple more things that I want to talk about that I don't pull up. I just wanted to bring up the whole Nick Khan going out of his way to say that the WWE is fine amidst everything that's going on, that they have record-breaking gates. I don't really have one way or the other, just to say that probably don't brag about that kind of thing. You're pushing away a lot of your American customers, and I know that international makes a lot of sense for you guys, and I'm sure that they appreciate it. We would just like a little bit of a bone thrown our way sometimes, because the prices are a lot for people to deal with. And I'm glad that, you know, you're not super focusing on families, because that means that you can put out a little bit of an edgier content, but we need to meet somewhere in the middle, guys. As somebody who used to be a huge fan, I can't really for it. All right. More news. You want me to stop putting my personal opinion? Yeah, Toy Arc. You don't follow Toy Arc. Toy Arc is super cool. Toy news. TMNT cartoon series Punk Leo Punk Raph and Scrag 3-pack has been shown off. This is super cool. I don't know if you guys know anything about these guys, but this kind of thing is why I love NEC. We're looking at very specific characters. Look at Scrag. He's so amazing. That cute head, that the goggles, or sorry, the visor. I guess you'd call it a visor. They're supposed to be sunglasses, but they're like wraparounds. Um, like if somebody squished down some pet vipers. It's super cute. And you know, you get your punk boys here, which you know, that maybe that's not what you think of whenever you think of punk, but hey, this was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. I will admit, jackets without pants, a little weird. Anyway, just love these guys. It's cool to see that NECA's still continuing to come out with interesting stuff based around the turtles. We recently just got a bunch of that in, by the way. So if you're interested in turtle NECA stuff, I know we recently got both Bebop and Rocksteady and the Easter Bunny gear, along with a couple other things. I bought a Usagi Yojimbo, and yeah, somebody brought us another one in, so we have that again. So that's super cool. Right, this I'm excited about this. This is Mesco 1/12 Incredible Hulk. This guy, I'm gonna start with this photo. So as we can see here, this boy has everything. This boy has, let's see, get a zoomy zoom. I can't. All right, so we got all kinds of cool stuff over here. Do you like the comic heads? Do you like the haired heads? We got them all. Got hands for days. Got cloth good pants. Like the cloth good pants. That's something that can't be overstated. All right, look at all this. All these effects. Lamppost. I bet you that steel beam is bendable. It looks bendable. We have all of these impacts. This is the thing that like makes Mezco worth the money that they ask. You don't get accessories like this from anybody. The closest that you get is like maybe Maximum whenever it comes to the Marvel line, but even then, you don't get anything near as much as this. And if you go off of price, you're getting a lot more for what you're paying whenever it comes to these Mezcos. So I think for the money, this is probably the best Hulk that's on the market. That Maximum Hulk. I'm a fan of the Maximum line. I have both the Maximum Spider-Man and the Maximum Deadpool, and I like them a lot. I think the Hulk was a bit of a misstep with the rubber chest. I don't mind the butterfly joints cutting in, and as you can see here, the butterfly joints cut in. It doesn't look bad at all. But the great thing about this Hulk is it can literally be any Hulk that you want it to be, and that is the wonderful thing about these Mezco. I am drooling over the action figure photography potential of just with their Thor there. Absolutely amazing. Then Marvel Legends X Series Nimrod pre-order is opened up. So this is a alternate colorway, if I remember correctly. That's literally just based on what was a San Diego Comic Con exclusive. It was an exclusive of some sort. I don't remember exactly what, but he was in the new wave colorway. This is harkens back to the classic, but it's definitely more modern sculpt. But if you need a Nimrod, this is a way to get it. He's really chunky. I don't know how well his articulation is going to work. These little cut downs on his torso seem like they could be a bit of a hindrance if they don't flare out enough. Like it looks like it's already buckling across it. So it looks like he might be a little limited. You might want to shave a little bit of it down. But hey, what do I know? I don't design toys. I just pose them and take pictures of them and sell them and talk about them. Okay, I know a lot about toys. Up next, Marvel Legends Astonishing Wolverine and 20th Anniversary Captain America reissue. Super cool. I absolutely love the packaging for Cap. It harkens back to these Toy Biz Marvel Legends. They even use the Toy Biz Marvel Legends logo. So this is super good. We have a lot of customers who just love Toy Biz. They like how well they're sculpted. They like that they come with dioramas. They like that they come with dioramas is the big one, them with Spider-Man Classics as well. And this has something similar. I don't really, it's a backdrop that he can stand in front of with a little stand. I like that they're giving him stands though, because sometimes Marvel Legends don't like to stand up. NECA stands don't work very well. You have to buy like something third party. Now, the way that the scales are on this boy, he reminds me a lot of that game Reverse. So I'm wondering if it's a lot of reuse. I haven't looked deep enough into it to find out, but there you are. And this Wolverine, I kind of like. I think he's lacking a neck, but sometimes Wolverine is just like that. You know, really hench boy. Got traps for days. I hope they get Brian Cage back to rest. All right, we got one more big toy news for you here. And well, that's just an in-hand gallery of the Motu Origins 200X cartoon collection, Wave 1. So we're just going to look through some of these photos here because, I'm going to be honest with you, I think these guys look great. All right. This Beast Man here is amazingly sculpted. Look at this guy. You can't overstate how wonderfully sculpted that is. He looks like he's coming directly out of a cartoon. And that's what I can say about most of all these guys. They look like they're coming exactly out of that 2000X cartoon. Like it is, without a doubt, in my mind, the best that you're going to get for those kinds of sculpts. So it's cool that we're out here and we're getting these. And I just have a feeling people are going to sleep on them. Unfortunately, with some of these Motus, nothing happens with them. We have a lot of like Origins and Classic collections and stuff like that. And some of them, people just absolutely ignore. Now, I want to jump into some pop culture news, and that pop culture news is going to be a little bit different than normal because that pop culture news that we are dealing with is going to be based around the idea that it was just Godzilla Day. And I'm just going to talk about the big one, and we can actually get up close for this. I don't know if you've heard, but I'm quite overjoyed about the fact that we are getting a sequel to Godzilla Minus One. Godzilla Minus Zero is the official title for this upcoming Toho sequel. Takashi Yamazaki's Godzilla Minus One movie being the original predecessor. We're slating that it's going to be somewhere in 2026 whenever it comes out, but I am absolutely overjoyed. I was worried for the longest time that Toho wasn't going to touch back on the franchise. They were letting other people do it, and you know, it was really refreshing. I don't mind the legendary Godzilla films. I think they do a little bit better with Kong than they do with the Big G, but that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion on that, and I'm a Heisei Eric. I like Violante and things along those lines, and the film just didn't harken back to the part that I thought was the best, but they're still fine. I think that Kong Skull Island is super fun, and I love that it's all part of the same universe whenever it comes to that, and that's just a tangent, so didn't really have to go off on that. I loved Godzilla Minus One. It was freaking phenomenal. I've watched it multiple times. I've seen it in black and white. I've seen it in color. I've watched it, you know, multiple times. It's a solid Godzilla flick. It was. Oh goodness. Sorry, I'm having 1 second. I'm just a moment of technical difficulty. My browser is freezing up. And sorry about that. Anyway, yes, whatever it comes down to it, the new Godzilla film has me very excited. So, with all of that being said, what are you looking forward to? Are there any specific toys that are coming out that you would like us to talk about? Is there anything that you're just directly interested in seeing in the future? Wants list, wish list. What do you collect? Come on. All you got to do is talk to us. We're available on social media and right here on Twitch. And I believe we were able to go live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube with minimal drop frames. Likely we'll be live on Meta coming in the future as well. We tried that. We just ended up with a lot of problems. So we're going to try to. But yeah, interact with us. Let us know what you want. Let us know what you like. Until next time, my name is Thrash, but you can all call me Audrey because we're friends. This has been Lunchtime Live. I hope you had a wonderful lunch. We'll see you next week.